This is the National Dirt Trucks here for race 1 out of 15 at the Buffalo Downs in Wyoming. The pole winner will be the number 8 car, driven by Ryan Adams. Ryan Adams and his teammate, the 9 of Mark Adams, are going to get a small jump over Elmer Farley in the 0, who qualified in 2nd. But Farley would catch right back up to the Postal Service cars and take the lead coming through turn 4. However, Ryan Adams would shoot to the bottom and he would take the lead back, coming to the line. First caution on lap 1. 4 wide on the first lap is generally not a good idea and Kristen Wagner in the 17 and Ollie Hazelbrook in the 21 find that out when they get together, creating a big mess. Angela Wagner is involved, Billy Bob Childers, Henrico Hilson, Buzz Stingley, among others. I see Bryant Laney and Armand Mitro in the 39 in there. I don't think this would take anybody out of the race, but it would cause several cars to fall off the pace. Ryan Adams in the 8 would lead on the restart. The 0 of Elmer Farley right behind him, but here comes Mark Adams. He's going to dive to the bottom, and he takes the lead going into turn 1, bringing Shane Lake in the 01 with him. However, Lake would be challenged by Matt Mungillo in the 20. But the ever-so-resilient Ryan Adams would take the lead back. You've probably noticed those pink stickers on the 8. The officials put them there so that they could differentiate between the 8 and the 9, because otherwise they would look exactly the same. But then Freddie Neuendijk in the 13 would take the lead coming around the front straightaway, but here comes his teammate Larry Dimmick in the 10, around Kate White and Matt Mungillo. Even though the lap 1 wreck swept up several cars, there was still lots of battling for position at the front. Derek Churchill in car number 6 would get his chance to shine when he takes the lead from Matt Mungillo in the 20, bringing Mark Adams with him. However, they would have to deal with the slow number 1 car of Allison Collada. Here comes the field. Derek Churchill goes up to the outside. Collada holds up Adams in the 9. Here comes Angela Wagner on the outside. Then Mark Adams, John Steffens, Freddie Neuendijk, Elmer Farley, and Bernie Fellows in the 88. Then the field would have to deal with Buzz Stingley, although he doesn't cause as much of a disturbance as Allison Collada does. This is probably because Collada really broke up the pack when she got in everyone's way. Then the field would have to deal with Billy Bob Childers in the 16, Stingley's teammate. There goes Kyle Hanover, the leader. Whoa! Angela Wagner makes contact with the 16. This would be the last of the slow cars for a while, allowing the leaders to start racing each other again. Bill Tissum in the 05 takes the lead from Kyle Hanover in the 85 going into turn 1. And then Tissum and Angela Wagner in the 77 would break away from the pack a bit. Angela Wagner is going to take the lead. There you see the second car on the inside line. That is Mark Adams making his way back towards the front. Allison Collada would be an obstacle for the leaders once again. Here comes Matt Mungillo in the 20. He's going to get by the one without a problem, but Collada holds up the cars on the outside line. Kyle Hanover in the 85 looks to the inside. Elmer Farley does the same. Armand Mitro in the 39 car would be an obstacle once again. Matt Mungillo once again gets by without a problem. Mungillo has a huge lead at this point. However, here comes the rest of the field. They would not be so lucky. Mitro holds up the 6 of Derek Churchill. Here comes, I believe that's Kyle Hanover in the 85. Mungillo in the 20 still has the lead. There he goes by Buzz Stingley in the 24. He would be an obstacle once again. There goes Freddie Neuendijk, Angela Wagner, Bill Tissum in the 05. Stingley did not cause as much of a disturbance as some of his fellow lappers. Freddie Neuendijk in the 13 would reduce Matt Mungillo's lead to nothing as he sweeps into the lead going into turn 3. Bill Tissum in the 05 right behind him. Tissum would not be able to take the lead, but his teammate, the 07 of John Steffens, did. And right behind him, you'll see that Mark Adams and Kyle Hanover have caught up to the lead group. Steffens and Mark Adams would break away from the lead group. Adams would take the top spot going through turn 2. Bill Tissum in the 05 tries not to let his teammate one-up him. He tries to take the lead from Angela Wagner, but she shuts the door on him coming out of turn 2. Here's a refreshing concept. Allison Collada becomes an obstacle once again. Everybody dashes by except for Derek Churchill and John Steffens. However, the almost constant exchanging for the lead continues. Freddie Neuendijk in the 13 takes the top spot from Kyle Hanover going into turn 1. Angela Wagner and Bill Tissum are right behind him. But Hanover in the 85 would take the lead back. Freddie Neuendijk, Mark Adams, and Angela Wagner almost go 3 wide behind him. The leaders would come up on Buzz Stingley in the 24 once again. But what's this? The lapped car is actually being gracious and letting everyone by? Buzz Stingley has shown a lot of class today, even though Matt Mungillo got held up behind him a little bit. However, the same cannot be said for Stingley's teammate, the 16 of Billy Bob Childers. but coming out of turn 4, the leaders blast to the inside. Kyle Hanover still leads, Angelo Wagner behind him. There would be a debris caution on lap 29. Bill Tissam in the 05 would lead the field to the restart. He gets a jump on Kyle Hanover in the 85. Freddie Newendike is in third. But Hanover would chase down the 05 and take the top spot going through turn 2. The field would really bunch up. Matt Mangillo was the beneficiary of the debris caution, and he was sure to take advantage. He took the top spot from Kyle Hanover going into turn 1. But Mark Adams in the 9 would rain on Mangillo's parade. There you see behind him Mark Hillman and Elmer Farley. They've been brought back up into this group. Derek Churchill would take the lead from Mark Adams. Behind him, the second car on the inside line, that is the 88 of Bernie Fellows, and behind him is John Steffens in the 07. However, Mark Adams would take the lead back from Derek Churchill. Behind them, you'll see a 3-wide battle for the third spot, the Team Thunder cars, and Bernie Fellows in the 88 up on the outside. Allison Collada decides that the field has not seen enough of her, and she holds up the 48 and the 77. However, this case of impeding earned Collada a trip to the hauler. Penalties may be coming. Back up front, Buzz Stingley in the 24 becomes an obstacle once again. He holds up Mark Adams in the 9. Freddie Newendike goes by. There goes Ryan Adams in the 8, and Bernie Fellows in the 88. Ryan Adams will lead his first lap since the early stages of the race. However, he would receive some pressure from Bernie Fellows in the 88. But despite being held up by Buzz Stingley, Mark Adams ends up taking the lead from his teammate. Allison Collada would once again interfere with the battle for the lead. Many drivers would argue that she should have been called off the track at this point. There, see, he's holding up the outside line. However, as you're going to see, much of the controversy would surround Armand Mitra in the 39. Look what happens. He holds up his teammate, the 88 of Bernie Fellows, and there goes the 0 of Elmer Farley to the inside. Fellows was obviously a bit miffed at his teammate costing him the lead, and he had some choice words for Armand Mitro after the race. Fellows would do his best to make his way back towards the front, but the race would end under caution on lap 48. The field would be held up by Buzz Stingley. Ryan Adams tries to go low, but Bill Tissam is right there. Ryan Adams gets spun towards the inside of the wall, and then bounces back up into the outside wall. For Elmer Farley, the leader, Billy Bob Childers in the 16 could not have come at a worse time. He holds up the 0 coming out of turn 4. Here comes John Steffens. He's going to beat him to the yellow flag. Billy Bob Childers would be called to the hauler for his impeding, but in the meantime, John Steffens takes the win in the inaugural National Dirt Trucks event. And here are your top 10 finishers. To add insult to injury for Elmer Farley, Freddie Newendike beat him out for second. Kyle Hanover in fourth. John Steffens' teammate Bill Tissam finishes in fifth. Bernie Fellows finishes 6th, despite being held up by Armand Mitro. Derek Churchill in 7th, Mark Adams in 8th, Matt Mangillo in 9th, and Mark Hillman rounds out the top 10. And here are your top 10 points, which look exactly the same as the results because this is the first race of the season. Next race will be at the Dakota Fairgrounds. This is CJ, signing off.